What is up, everyone? This is Karem from Atlanta Goat Format, bringing to you a replay review of Goat Format War League Season 6, Week 1. This game is between Team Unknown and Team Bug Catchers. We got AJTBLS coming out of retirement to play and represent Unknown, while Planshy is bugging out for Bug Catchers in the bottom right, and this is a Chaos Turbo mirror. We just watched Jay Park take the first game in this series, 1-0, with Warriors over Aiko 77's Chaos Turbo. See if Bugs can bounce back here, or will Unknown go up 2-0. And it looks like AJT is going to draw a graceful 4-turn and fire off the T-Drags to get this graceful at full value, discarding most likely Serpent and T-Drag here. And he will draw into Sangan, Snatch, and Shoot. So after the graceful resolves here, we'll have Shoot, Sangan, Snatch, Jar, Ring, T-Drag, and Faith. Pretty good way to start the game here. Now, in this position here, I'd probably be setting the Sangan just to not play into the knock or not play into the Faith. Not to play into the Minecon or some sort. In my scouting of Bug Catchers, I've seen them be preing cards like Minecon and Kaiku. So that's just something in the back of my mind going into this match. But of course, you can't read what this guy's starting hand is, so you're just going to go full greed here and set the Faith, and hopefully it goes unpunished. And if it does, you'll know shortly here, as you do have the Dust Shoot that will fire off, and you will see the Faith, the Minecon, the Sangan, the Snatch, the Sork, and the Sinister. Lucky for you, this isn't really a huge punish, as he's going to... Any type of interaction with this Minecon here is just going to recur the Minecon and nothing else, so it's kind of a pretty good situation to be in. It could be much worse, I feel like. And so this is going to fire off and resolve back for the Minecon. And in this position here, you just set Serpent and pass. Passing back onto AGT on serve, he's going to draw the Faith and add back the Serpent to hand. In this position, you're probably just going to want to clear whatever this is, as you probably presume it to be the Sinister Serpent. You will fire the Jar off, because you're not really worried about, there's no Dust Shoot to play around. Maybe you draw into like a Nobleman or something like that, and it's going to be a Deku here, which is going to be no bueno with that Minecon lurking in hand. Quick clear and Faith to defense. Lucky enough for Planshy here, he's going to draw into a Spy here, which is in a pretty good spot considering that he doesn't have anything else to really play. AJT will find another Spy in his hand this time, and we will get a sack of the Sangan for the T-Drag. Putting a Dark Engrave, so light and dark here, and then adding the Suki to recur the Faith next turn. AJT will find Planshy's Spy here, take 400, and pass right back. If I'm Planshy here, with you knowing that he has a Tsukiyomi in hand and a Serpent, those are the only two cards that you know about, and him knowing, 5 of your cards right now, and the second Sork is absolutely cheeks, I probably would say you have to clear this Faith, either attack with the Spy or summon something. I'd probably, like I said, I don't know, with what's set up here, you could just move this Spy to attack mode, and clear the Faith, but these Spies are kind of your lifeline in Blood. Using the Snatch is out of desperation, I feel like, and that's kind of the line that you're going to go here. So you're going to use the Snatch and clear the Faith here, so he doesn't recur with the Suki. Unfortunate enough for you, he's going to have a Ring of Destruction that's going to completely eat this Thunder Dragon up. So not only are you going to lose Snatch, you're going to take 16, and he's going to recur the Faith next turn. So it's pretty tough for you. Doesn't put a Light Engrave, as that's his Thunder Dragon. So it's just a huge difficult spot to be in. You will set the Faith though, to hopefully recur this Snatch deal that you used, and AJT will draw into a break. Suki will come down. Of course, it's the Graceful Charity. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have a second free card to discard. And he will draw into a Chaos Sork of his own, a Nobleman of Crossout, and another Gravekeeper Spy. If I'm him here, you're probably discarding the Serpent and probably discarding the Spy. Spies, you already have another one and it's not really helping you. So Definitely just clear those cards out of the way. Now, this Nobleman's definitely coming down, as you know, the odds of it being a Faith are 50-50 really. You know, if it is a Serpent, it's still good value, so you're just going to clear that out, and Faith is out of the game, and good enough for you. You already have your second Faith in your hand, so you're not going to lose out on anything on that Nobleman, and it's going to completely remove it from his deck. So it looks like Planshy's on the triple Faith for his main, and we will just set the break and pass easily to protect the Faith here from any type of threat. And looks like there is the coup that we were talking about. So it looks like you're going to have to use this break to protect, and we will. It is probably just too good to let go through. In terms of discards, you already discarded a Spy. If you do discard another Spy, it doesn't really hurt you. You could discard the Dagoichi, but you kind of just need that to draw better cards. And Spy's only helping you so much, especially with the Suki in your hand already. So just discard the Spy for it, clear the Kaiku, and so you're going to put a Dark in his grave. But he has no lights and double sorked up on a Wednesday. So we're going to draw into BLS for turn here. And this probably is just it. I mean, he has triple light, triple dark, snatch steal in hand. I mean, he could go even off further, summon the Suki, use the Graceful again if he wants to, but probably doesn't need to. Stunt on you like that. Snatch is going to come in, and Deku's going to come out, and that'll wrap it up. Pretty good play by AJTBLS. There was nothing really Planchy could do there to win. It was almost unlosable from AJT's position. And we'll see if Bugs can bounce back here after going down in game 1. Alright, for Planchy here, he's going to open up Spy, Greed, Suki, Graceful, BLS, and Mirror Force. Pretty good hand, but not a good hand to fire off this Graceful. AJT will have Duo, Knock, Deco, Graceful, and another Knock. So set up pretty good for him as well. And we will set the Spy. And probably set the Jar Greed. Don't want to commit the Mirror Force too early here. And we'll get the AOK from the Bugman. And AJT will activate this Delinquent Duo. Looks like he's going to hit the Mirror, and he's going to have to discard the Tsukiyomi here. It's not the worst case. You know, put a Dark in grave. And Nobleman will rip Spy out of this one. And we will get a set pass from AJT with a Dakoichi thrown out there. Planchy's going to draw himself into his own duo, so we'll go duo for duo. And we will roll into a Graceful Charity. Pretty good equalizer there. And Jar of Greed will find him right into the perfectly timed T-Drag, which will make this Graceful go huge. And put a light in the dark in the graveyard for this BLS. Depending on what he draws out, this BLS might come down fairly quickly here. We'll see MST, Dakoichi, and Minecon. Obviously discarding the 2 D-Drags to grave, and probably firing off this Minecon, knowing the the cost-reward factor that we saw from AJT in Game 1. And this Minecon will find itself into a Dakoichi, which will grab the Snatch. And doesn't elect to go full out here, giving respect to this card, gonna hold the BLS here and set the MST and set the Dakoichi. He could technically go all out, possibly. He does have the MST for the Snatch Steal, but if this is heavy and then he top decks into Snatch Steal, then that's a completely different game. Now, Ring of Destruction and Nobleman a cross out. So this Nobleman is probably going to come in and clear out this Deco here. And this Deco is probably going to try and make contact with Planchy here. Looks like Planchy plays 3 Deco still in game 2. So he had 3 Deco, 3 Spy. And lucky enough for him, he has this Suki in graveyard already. If he didn't, he might be in trouble. Ring's going to be there to back up Deco, but not for long, as MSTN phase is going to come in. And surely this BLS is going to get slammed down for 46. And we will probably set this shoot just as a bluff, even though it's a pretty dead card. But you're going to hold off and not commit. It's perfectly fine. AJT is going to find the Minecon, though, off the top of the deck and clear out this BLS. You will have a Sork here, but you don't really have that many Darks in grave, so not really sure what that's doing for you here. Now, AJT is going to find himself into a Suki that you just got to throw down and set and hope for the best, and you will find yourself into a Serpent that you'll do the same. Knight Assailant here from AJT off the top. Continue to just build a wall. Jar of Greed's going to go down, and AJT is going to find himself into a breaker. Given that you really haven't seen, you've seen the Mirror Force, so really anything that's going to be used for this breaker is going to be chainable for the most part. Probably just going to hold it. You don't want to play in TT if Planshy plays it, so just hold it and pass, I think, is probably the rule of thumb, and that's probably what you're thinking over here. Does he play it? Does he play the TT? And he does not here. So you're going to draw into a tribe, fire off the jar, and get into an upstart that's going to bring you a nobleman. Both of these cards are not Faith. Decos are out of the game. Spies are out of the game. One of these has to be a Knight Assailant, and then the other one might be a Sangan, given that you're low. Either way, this nobleman's going to eat something up, and you're going to elect to go with the card that was last summoned here after summoning the tribe. So ripping Knight Assailant from the deck, Planshy doesn't play it, and we will get this tribe in over a Tsukiyomi that's going to get set. Now, the breaker has to come in here to avoid this tribe doing more damage to you. You're going to get some value by popping the shoot out of the way and attacking and clearing. You'll follow up with a set jar, and it's kind of a difficult position for AJT to come back from this. He doesn't have any lights, and unless this jar draws him something pretty good, he's kind of in a tough spot. We will have the snatch come down though. You've seen both Nobleman's and Minecon come down for AJT. I probably would just set Faith here and hold the snatch. You're not really in a position where you're really scared of this breaker, and I guess you're just banging on the fact that he doesn't have any cards. So, and you want to apply some pressure, so I get it. Gonna go ahead and set the Faith though, and we're gonna get into a snatch and Sangan situation. AJT is probably going to have to snatch this breaker, though, to avoid losing next turn, which is an unfortunate situation to be in. But he's going to go ahead and hold and just set the Sangan and hope he can live to see another turn. Planshy's not going to draw into a Mon that would have secured it for him, and he'll instead draw into a break. Definitely going to fire out this Magician of Faith, though, and grab the Graceful, I presume. Actually, I could see him drawing the knock here, just out of threat that, if it is a Magician of Faith, it just does get him back in the game. So definitely could see either card. Depends what you want to do, because both these cards are pretty dead. So Graceful's pretty good to getting you into a Mon that can win you the game. But you're going to elect to do the Nobleman, which is going to push the game a little bit further. You'll switch the Serpent up and do full damage. Get him down to 22 taken, so he'll go back to 16 and stand by, and he'll draw into the Zombira of the Dark. Gonna fire off the Snatch Deal as well to clear both. Mirror Force is gone, so there's no real threat there. And it looks like, you have the life points to exhaust, so it's not the worst case situation, and you don't really want to fire off this break for a Chaos Sorcerer, so you're gonna hold it and take the 31. You will gain the 1,000 back, so it's a pretty good spot either way. Now, since you do have the Serpent in the break, there's no real reason given your hand. Now, you do have the Sangan and Nobleman's gone, so you'll just set the Sangan here to get a Dark Engrave, and, wait for him to clear over this so you can bring out that Sork. And AJT is going to find himself into a Thunder Dragon a little too late for that. Now, he is going to elect to go into this breaker into attack mode, even though he could have, I guess, normal summoned the Thunder Dragon over. This leaves an awkward position where you're going to send the Sangan to grave, let him get a card in his hand. You know he has Serpent, and he's going to fire off the break to target the Snatch Steal, and he'll get the Breaker back to his side. And it looks like Planshy is going to be able to push through here as he has a Light and Dark Engrave. Breaker will come down, Sork will come down, and that'll do it. So we got this one all tied up going into game number 3. Series is 1-0 again. Unknown is up. Bug catchers are down. And let's see if Planshy can dig it out. So for AJTBLS, he's going to open up Shoot, Spy, Breaker, Sangan, Faith, and Sork. And Planshy is going to have a Upstart, Sinister, Upstart, Faith, Mirror, Jar. And AJT is going to have full knowledge of that in just a moment here. Now that's going to change a little bit here as these 2 Upstarts are going to fire off. And he will find himself into a T-Drag. Which is pretty good to get off the Upstart. And the second Upstart will fly into a Jar of Greed. So it looks like you have Jar of Greed, 2 T-Drag, Serpent, and Mirror to a set card that you do not have knowledge of. Go ahead and throw down the Serpent and set down both jars. Spy will come in. One will be in attack, one will be in defense. And Sangan will come down. So again, no real care for any type of Torrential Tribute action. And Sangan will come in for 1,000. Good little poke on AJT's part, and Planshy will find himself into a Sangan as well. And with no shoots, he's just going to get into this Jar of Greed and see if he can find something. Not going to really find much of anything. He'll set the Suki, as none of the monsters on the board can really deal with it, and he'll set the Mirror Force. And Breaker will come on down, and unfortunate for AJT, he will find the Jar of Greed rather than the newly set Mirror Force. And we'll get a little bit of a nice out of him in the chat. Breaker will come in, and it'll do its job, though, clearing over this Tsukiyomi. However, Planshy has other plans, as Mirror Force will come in and take out this Breaker and Sangan. Sangan will add Serpent for AJT, which will put him on the break to be set. And we'll get a Graceful fired off for full value here, discarding Serpent, discarding T-Drag. We're going to get a big thing from AJT of whether to pop this set, given the Graceful just went off, given that he just protected with a Mirror Force. What are we going to do here? We are going to fire it off with the Serpent and clear it just in case it might be a Magician of Faith. And we're going to get the BLS to come out and play. We're going to get Kaiku. We're going to get a Pass Prio from Planshy here with no response possible from AJT. BLS is going to come out and rip these Spies off the board, and we're going to get a Banish in with the Kaiku from Planshy, ripping Serpent and Sangan from the graveyard. And AJT is going to be in a position of 2 Chaos Monsters who can't do nothing for him. Even if he could turn off the coup with the Suki. He's going to go ahead and summon the Suki and clear the coup. And back on to Planch. BLS still looking to blow this game out. And we're going to get a BLS Sangan action, taking him down by 4,000. And AJT is going to find himself into a Night Ass. This card is kind of ass in this position, as there's no way to be able to get any value out of it. Looks like we're going to go ahead and summon the Faith and attack into the Gan out of desperation. Taking 700 so we can summon out the BLS and banish out this BLS to avoid losing the game next turn. And it looks like Planshy's going to draw into a second deco here. Probably grabbing the Minecon and outing the BLS and then possibly even summoning for attack. Get an attack mode train. Choo choo. Here comes Planshy for 2,400. Making it a 1-turn clock. And AJT draws Snatch Steal, which can be pretty good for him here. He can snatch the deco, then Suki the deco, draw. There's a couple different lines he can go into, depending on what he's able to see here. And he is going to see a Graceful Charity, which is going to make this game super interesting. Graceful's going to come in, and he's going to draw Deco, Tribe, Knight, and Sork. So it looks like game 2, AJT sided out into only be one deco in the main, and now he brought all 3 back going into game 3, going first. Pretty interesting here. Now, in this position, you're definitely discarding the Knight Ass and possibly the other deco. Don't really know what double deco is doing for you here. And you will grab back the Spy. Clear over the Gan for 400 and attack for 1,000. Planshy's going to have a Magician of Faith added to his hand from the deck because of Sangan. And it looks like 2 hands, 5 cards apiece, all monsters. Planshy will draw into this Trap Dust Shoot, which is going to be pretty huge in this game. Given that, you know, this Sork is a dead card. Tribe can be pretty good in a lot of different situations. And this Suki is going to be really good for the Spy and the 2 decos he now controls. Setting Spy and the Shoot. And we're going to get a Trap Dust Shoot. Fire off and take off that Tribe that we were just talking about. This Upstart will come in and find a ring for AJT, which is probably the worst card he could see off on that Upstart out of his deck right here. Just doesn't have the life for it. And both Upstarts from Planshy are gone, so there's no way to gain it down the line. This card is terrible in this situation. We will get a Sook Deco reset with a Trap Dust Shoot being put into the hand. And this ring becomes even worse as Spy will be the card that Planshy set on the field. And we will get a set ring, set shoot on Planshy's board. I'm just hoping that there's nothing that can take out this Dekoichi. Fortunately for him, he has T-Dragon hand, but he just drew Pot of Greed. And we're going to learn of that knowledge here as Shoot is going to come in and take out Deco here, which could have ended the game. To be fair, normal summon Thunder Dragon ends the game, but Planshy doesn't know that this Ring of Destruction is not a mirror force. And Pot of Greed's going to get him into a Shoot and a Nobleman. And it seems like Planshy is aware that this is just game, as he's going to throw the Thunder Dragon down over the Spy and throw Gravekeeper Spy into attack mode. Attack over the Dekoichi. And there's just nothing AJT can do there. Wow, what a comeback from Bug Catchers, especially going down game 1 in this game. AJT opened up for the nuts in game 1, but just game 2 and 3 didn't really have anything that he could have done anything with. I did see he played around with the side deck a bit. The pre from Planshy helped a good bit. The Kaiku applied the right amount of pressure. The Minecon was pretty decent in different situations, kind of stopped AJT's rolling situation that he had going on. But overall, pretty good game between these 2 duelists. Enjoyed watching it, a lot of back and forth, and a lot of situations that kind of put both players back into the game. Unfortunately for AJT here, he probably could have made the comeback if he just had a little bit more life points in this situation. But if that's the name of the game. Alright, that's game number 2 in the wraps. Be on the lookout for game number 3 coming out tomorrow.